Hello and welcome to LearnWordpressOnline.com. My name is Ed Scott, and today we're going to talk about a case study to where I am looking to produce $30,000 in possible sales from a WordPress powered website for a potential client. Now, this case study, we are using WordPress for page 1 Google ranking, and we're going to take a look at some WordPress design elements for SEO. And I will show you proof of page 1 for this website powered by WordPress for the web and video. Then we'll look at some SEO versus paid ads and SEO, search engine optimization, or word of mouth type of advertising versus buying customers. And we just want to take care of a few little housekeeping items before we get started. This is a real potential client. So please do not call the client or send an email. I would definitely appreciate that. The phone number that you're going to see is a real tracking number. We are paying for that, and there's a cost associated with it, and we're tracking sales and phone calls using a matrix there. So please do not call the number. With that being said, let's get right to it. Okay, so let's get to it. Invisalign Washington, D.C. is the website that we are looking at in terms of the case study. Now, I created this website a few weeks ago, and it's already ranking on page 1 of Google for the keyword phrase Invisalign Washington, D.C., which is very significant. But first, before we get to how do we create $30,000 in sales, let's look at the design elements of this WordPress powered website. As you can see here, we have a very nice functional slider on the front page, and you can take a look at this little thing right here. It's going across as a timer to let you know when it's going to change. We have a click here, buy now, $1,000 off today. You have your call to actions right there on the front of the page, which is great. All right, so we have an opt-in form, or to get more information form. We have some other items here in the sidebar and widgets. We have the important piece of having the address and phone number. By the way, from a mobile device, these phone numbers are clickable, so you can click the call, office hours. So you want to have the important pieces of information right up front. Now, this is a mini site. This is not the client's real site. This is a mini site or a web presence site. Because they do have a corporate site for Smashing Smiles, and you can see here I do link to it. If you look right below at the bottom here, you will see that I am linking to their website. However, the purpose behind this mini site is to drive traffic based on the keyword phrase and using the power of WordPress, and that's what we've done here. So we have an About Us and a Contact Us form here, which will show you how to create. And notifications are sent when these forms are completed to an email address or wherever you want to send those to. And then we have an About Us page here, mostly required for Google items so that we can complete that. I haven't completed that one yet. All right, so and then we have a couple of posts on this, and this is the first post, which is notice Invisalign Washington DC.net. Okay, all of that's for search engine optimization purposes. This little thing right here is that little thing right there is search engine optimization. So we have to talk to you about that. And let's go back to the next blog post. And here we have Invisalign Washington, D.C., which is a video. Now, it's important that we take a look at this video that I've created here. And you can tell this is me. You see my name right here. There's a special little piece of widget that I use in order to have this display in the browser settings with the video next to it. And I'll show you that in just a few minutes. Okay, so now we've taken a look at the website. Again, WordPress powered. We can do some tremendous items with this. Notice how we can change the color of the buttons and the hover buttons and how they change in terms of the text being white and that one is being green and what is selected. We can change the background. We can do a whole bunch of items in WordPress with no coding. And that's the beauty of it. You have a powerful, powerful CMS, a content management system that you can control and do on your own. It's very powerful. Okay, so let's move on to talk about our results. So proof of page 1, I'm going to type in I'm going to log out first because I am logged in now. I'm going to log out so you can see here there's nothing tied to me. So we'll log out and we'll type in Invisalign, Washington, D.C. And then we'll search. And let's take a look at it and see where we rank. So we have some rankings here. We have the Google Places, and then this is Invisalign, WashingtonDC.net. Notice June 2nd, excuse me, was the date that we created this site. And we're already on page 1 of Google out of 386,000 results. Okay. Now, my goal is to move this further up on the list. Now, why is this significant? Because there are percentages of people who are, for example, people are paying for these ads and people are paying for these ads. And notice the cost for this particular person is $2,995. That's $2,995 for those services. I'm sure that's probably starting for that particular client or this company. And that's a high dollar value for those services. So being on page 1 is very relevant. Okay, and if you can get a percentage of those sales just by being on page 1, and if your costs were $2,995 or $3,000, if that's what this orthodontist was charging, then if you did 10 sales, $29,000 just from being on page 1 of Google and capturing those particular leads. And as you can see, we are. Now, video is very powerful. So if I go over to video, like I showed you, I was going to show you page 1 of web and video. And again, this is the video right here. And notice that we have this video showing up also. Remember earlier I said that I will show you how to, there's a special widget that I use in order to create this listing so it'll show up with the video in it. It also shows up in the web without being in the video. Also, so if we just search, if we go down a few pages, I haven't gone down in a couple of days here. Let's see if it'll show up. I'm just going to go scan very quickly here. I'll just go to the first 2 or 3 pages, see if the video shows up. All right, there it is right here. Now that's the YouTube video. Okay, and let's see if the website video is showing up here. All right, well, it's not showing up right there, but it does show up occasionally. And not right here. So, but the important piece of it is even with that, between the top 40 listens, we got 2 showing up in the top 40, which is not bad at all. And we also have items on page 1, which is the tremendous value to have Invisalign Washington DC.net, which is a website that we created, show up on page 1. Not only that, we also rank this website for Invisalign Washington DC cost. So if I type that in, because people are typing in Invisalign Washington DC cost. And as we move down, we see again that, and now notice that this is web. Again, this is web, not video. So the YouTube video shows up for the cost, but also this is the blog post that shows up in the web as a video, and that's that special widget, which is very powerful. If you're not using video today, I mean, you really ought to be using video. With an iPhone or Android device, you can just record so many, there's so many different pieces of technology available today to get video, and including what I'm doing right here in terms of a screencast. You can also, even just using PowerPoint, you can do that. Okay, so join us on September 29th, June 29th, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. in Atlanta for a Learn WordPress workshop that we'll be having. So if you can attend that, that would be great. You can get your tickets at LearnWordpressOnline.com or visit us on Facebook at facebook.com/LearnWordpressOnline. Okay, so I'm going to go over to Google AdWords, and we'll be having a course on online advertising that'll be coming up, because not only you must rank SEO, but you still need to advertise your business. I mean, a business that doesn't advertise is really, people always say we go out. The only way I get business is by word of mouth. Well, when you look at a lot of the commercials, a lot of the things you see in the newspaper, there's a cost to acquire a customer, and you want to make sure you're still advertising, even though you're on page one of Google, or you can be on the best corner in any business on the most heavily driven traffic corner in your town, and people still may not know you're there, so you still have to advertise. So let's get into Google AdWords, and I'll show you the significance behind why Invisalign Washington, D.C. is so important. So I'm going to move over to the keyword tool. And then I'm just going to come over here and copy Invisalign Washington, D.C. And we're going to do a search for that. So there are 110 searchers per month with Invisalign Washington, D.C. And you can see the cost that people approximately, they're paying $8.59 per click. So when we look over here, and let me go back to taking off, just go Invisalign Washington, D.C. These people over here are paying anywhere between $7 and $9, but roughly, if you click on this. Now, again, we're on page one, and we're not paying for it. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't advertise. I want to stress that as much as I can, because even though we're on page one, there are still other places where Google and some of the other media buying services can get you in front of customers. Okay, so you still want to place your ads. You still want to buy ads, even though you may have a page one ranking, and you still want to do that. So that's the significance behind being on page one, is that people are paying for it, as we can see here. As we can see here. Okay, and then we're on page one for that. So if we go over here, and let me give you two other little things real quick here. If you go and check exact match, which means you place items in brackets, and it shows 58 people, and you choose phrase match, which means you're typing in quotes. So people are going into Google and they're actually typing things in quotes or using brackets for exact match and phrase match. Now let's take a look at our rankings for those. So these are highly targeted customers. So if they're typing things in a quote, they know how to use Google, they're sophisticated enough, and they are targeted buyers. And as you can see here, page one right there. All right, and the beauty behind this is your page one above. It says 1, 2. So we're the third one down, and there's no ads here. There are no phone calls that we get from this phone number that you see here. So that is a tracking phone number. So when it's called, we do track the amount of time that the calls were made, so we can track sales, so we can determine how profitable having this site is, and how profitable these placements will be, including the video, because the phone number is also on the video. So when you look at the video, you see here, it says the phone number right there. Okay, that's a strategy that you want to be able to incorporate within your advertising campaign. So if a person typed in Invisalign Washington, D.C. in quotes, as you can see, we got 1, 2, we got 2 spots on page one. That's going to increase our chance of getting traffic. And then let's go over now. As a matter of fact, let me log out of here so you can just see here. I think I'm finishing the other one, so I'll just log out of my AdWords account. So I'm just purely in Google now. So we're still in quotes here. And let's go and type in brackets. Okay, so now in brackets, same deal here. So in brackets, we pull up some place listings, that's fine, but we still have a listing right here on page one. So out of that 58 people, if we converted 4, 5, 10 people per month, I mean, we'll be looking at a significant amount of business going into this client, and that's the power. That is the power of the internet. That's the power of Google, Facebook, and all of the other social media, YouTube. You want to make sure that you're in these places and you are getting using the proper techniques